so much. It's so nice to be here tonight with you. You know, I served 11 years in the United States Senate. Any Florida? We have Florida here? Oh, awesome. Okay, so Miami, I served the state of Florida for 11 years over in the U.S. Senate until my boss at the time, Senator Rubio, moved over to the State Department. And I was fortunate to join him in the administration of President Trump last January, where I got the better fortune to cover India and South Asia. And so it was a real treat. I asked for it. I thought this was one of the most important relationships that we have. And you've heard the Secretary say that time and time again. And I want to talk about some of the things we're working on in the relationship because there's so much and things are moving so quickly. But I wanted to first start by just talking about the importance of the Indian American community in the United States. It is a vibrant community. It is one that has contributed immensely, and as we celebrate 250 years of this great, great nation, the Indian American community is such a part of that story. And so I wanted to take one moment to first just talk a little bit about that. And you know, I think back in 2019 when the president in his first term gave that great speech in Houston, he talked a lot about what the Indian American community has contributed and the important relationship that we have, whether it's on trade, defense, energy. It's really unlimited. And so I have my colleagues here especially from the Embassy of India, and we're meeting constantly, taking stock of the relationship, where we need to move the ball forward. And it's been a very, very productive. But when you look across and you just look at, just for example, our companies, I mean, these leaders, the Indian American leaders in US companies, Microsoft, Google, IBM, Adobe, I mean, they are playing key roles in advancing America's economic progress. It's undeniable. You look at the administration, we have senior officials throughout agencies, FBI, National Institute of Health, and of course our second lady, who are contributing greatly to current policy and the future. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about the relationship because it is so strategically important. And I had the privilege of traveling with the Secretary just last month to India. It was an intense trip. If you got to follow it, we did 4 stops. We went to Kolkata, we did New Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and then back to New Delhi. And if you watched it, which I hope many did, you saw the tangible results. And that is what Prime Minister Modi and President Trump are moving forward, a result-oriented relationship. We're not measuring by meetings, we're measuring by results. And I want to go through a little bit of that this evening. When we look at trade, in February 2026, we announced the intention to finally conclude a historic trade deal. We are very, very close. This is going to open India's market of $1.4 billion to America's goods on terms that are reciprocal and mutually beneficial. The administration is driving toward the goal of Mission 500 billion in trade by 2030 with a real sense of urgency. And 2025 was a historic year when it comes to trade with the US and India. We rose bilateral trade for goods to 149 billion. That's more than 20 million increase from 2024. US exports to India alone rose by 9.8%. And on the investment side, Indian companies are eager to come here. We had Select USA, where we saw $20 billion of new US investment into the United States from India, 1.1 billion in immediate investment. That was actually the largest announcement in Select USA's history. Actually, we got in a little bit of trouble because we outshined and we had the 12 Indian companies on the center stage and they told us, you're not really allowed to do that. But we were so proud of what we had been able to accomplish, especially under the leadership of our very, very great and eager ambassador who is driving this relationship. I don't know if you've been following him on Twitter, but he's probably visited more states than maybe some Indians. And he's so proud to show that off. You see, we have visitors going. We have the USTR. Ambassador Greer is there right now. We had the secretary there. We had a commerce secretary there. We had the Secretary of the Army there. This is just in the last 5 months, and you're going to see those visits just increasing. On technology, we launched the Trust Initiative last year with President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, and under this, we are focusing on AI, semiconductors, critical minerals, and technologies that will define the future. The US-India relationship is the future, and that's why we're so focused on the key technologies that are going to take us there. As it was said, we are so proud that India was one of the early signers to Pax Silica. We've got meetings this week with the Minister of IT, who's flying in maybe now, who'll be here tomorrow, and we'll have meetings over at the State Department to advance some key and concrete projects. On energy, critically important for India, the U.S. energy trade relationship is expanding rapidly. We are exchanging goods and American oil, gas, and coal, and both sides are exploring expanding civil nuclear cooperation under the newly passed Shanti Act. U.S.-India hydrocarbon trade has expanded significantly since 2025, reaching $14.4 billion to date, and our defense relationship is moving at rapid speed. This is a key pillar of the relationship when it comes to advancing India's national defense and security and our own. Last October, we signed a 10-year defense framework. This is a generational commitment to co-development, co-producing, and building an industrial base that serves both the United States and India. Both our security cooperation goes beyond the traditional military domain. And then I want to circle up to the point I hit earlier, and the most important point, and that's the people-to-people ties. Because behind every trade figure, every defense agreement, and every technology partnership is something more fundamental, and that's the people. That's us in this room. The U.S.-India relationship is sustained by one of the most remarkable people-to-people connections in the world. Mission India, which we talk about often, is one of our largest missions around the world. It's our second largest around the world, and that's not a coincidence. More than 300 participants travel to the United States each year, and our alumni network spans 48,000 Indians. This includes Prime Minister Modi himself, 3 current cabinet ministers, and 150 civil servants. These are the men and women shaping India's future, and they get to know America firsthand. That's a win for us. The Fulbright program in India celebrated 75 years last year, having awarded 21,000 fellowships and grants to Indians and Americans since its founding. And today, more than 330,000 Indians are enrolled across U.S. institutions. This contributes more than $14 billion to the U.S. economy, supporting a significant number of jobs. Like I said, tangible results. And this is the foundation that makes everything else possible. Trade deals can be signed, defense frameworks can be negotiated, but it's these human connections that make all of this possible. So at the end of the day, this partnership isn't built on sentiment, it's built on results, and we're very proud and transparent about this. There is so much more to do in this relationship, and under the great leadership of President Trump and Prime Minister Modi, I'm sure you all watched their great meeting last week, where you could just see the sort of warm bond there, and we're very eager for the next stage of this relationship. So thank you all for being here. It feels like home to be back, so thank you for inviting me, and I look forward to advancing this relationship in the days and weeks to come.